Ladies and gentlemen, there is a power inside you that is older than fear, stronger than circumstance, and greater than anything you've been told about success. It is the power of your word. Your word is not just sound. Your word is not just air leaving your lungs. Your word is a command, a decree, a spiritual instruction that tells the universe exactly what to deliver. Today, I want to reveal a simple but life-changing truth. You can speak money into reality. Not through wishing, not through waiting, but through the courageous act of speaking what you seek even before you see it. Your words are magnetic every time you speak. You send out a signal, a frequency, a vibration. Money is not attracted to desperation. It is not attracted to fear. It is not attracted to "I'm always broke," or "nothing works for me," or "I can never get ahead." Money moves toward confidence, clarity, and conviction. If you want abundance, you must speak abundance. If you want opportunity, you must speak opportunity. If you want freedom, you must speak freedom. Your life cannot rise higher than your vocabulary. Speak what you expect, not what you fear. Look at your life right now. Every result you see, every struggle you've survived, every breakthrough you've tasted, all of it began with a word spoken in faith or spoken in fear. Words are seeds. Plant poverty and you will harvest lack. Plant abundance and you will harvest prosperity. This is the formula. Speak only what you want to see. Reject any word that goes against your highest good. Declare your financial victory before the evidence appears. When you speak, reality rearranges itself the moment you speak with conviction. Forces you cannot see begin moving. Ideas find you. Opportunities open. People appear. Doors shift. And the very money you once chased begins to move toward you. Prosperity does not come from effort alone. It comes from alignment, the alignment of your heart, your intention, and your speech. Speak it today. Speak it tomorrow. Speak it until the walls of doubt crumble and the gates of abundance swing wide open. Fire, declare your wealth with power. Say it with me. Money flows to me now. Every word I speak aligns me with abundance. My voice is the magnet of prosperity. What I decree becomes my reality. Feel the energy shift. That is the beginning of financial transformation. Become the voice of your wealth. Walk with the confidence of someone who has already won. Speak with the courage of someone who already possesses the treasure. Live with the joy of someone who knows not hopes, but knows that abundance is your birthright. Your words have the power to build worlds. Use them wisely. Use them boldly. Use them now. Speak money into your reality. And watch your reality rise to meet your words. The power of spoken words to shape your financial destiny is one of the most misunderstood but transformative truths a person can ever discover. Most people wander through life unaware that every sentence they speak carries creative force. They believe their words are casual expressions, meaningless reactions, or emotional releases. But the truth is far deeper, far older, and far more influential than they realize. Words are not empty sounds. They are containers of intention, vibration, and direction. What you speak consistently eventually becomes what you live. Think of your words as seeds. Every sentence plants something in the fertile soil of your mind and the energetic field around you. Whatever grows from that soil is what you must eventually harvest. If a person speaks lack, they will grow lack. If they speak struggle, they will grow struggle. But if they speak abundance, certainty, confidence, and wealth, they will grow those as well. Your financial destiny is not shaped by chance, luck, or even effort alone. It is shaped by the invisible architecture you build through your speech. Words that declare who you are, what you expect, and what you are ready to receive. Most people don't understand why their financial life feels stuck, chaotic, limited, or unpredictable. They think the problem is outside themselves, bad economy, unfair circumstances, difficult times, but their real limitation lies in the language they use every single day. They repeat phrases like "I can't afford that," "money is hard to make," "nothing ever works out for me," "I'm always behind," or "I'm tired of being broke." These are not harmless comments. They are verbal contracts with scarcity. When spoken repeatedly, They instruct your inner mind to accept limitation as truth and instruct the energetic universe around you to deliver experiences that match those declarations. Your words are permissions. When you say, "I can't," you permit the universe to withhold possibilities. When you say, "Money never stays with me," you permit financial instability. When you say, "Life is a struggle," you permit obstacles. Spoken negativity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, not because life is cruel, but because the power of your words is that strong. People unconsciously use their speech to close doors they don't even realize they're shutting. But the opposite is also true. Every time you speak words of abundance, you open the channels of prosperity. When you declare, "Money flows to me easily," you align yourself with opportunities that match that vibration. When you say, "I am worthy of financial success," you align your inner self with confidence, dissolving hidden resistance. When you say, "Unexpected money comes to me," you activate channels and ideas that did not exist for you before. Your words begin shifting your mindset, your emotions, your expectations, and your actions. You speak the world you wish to enter, and eventually you walk into it. The power of speech is not magic in the childish sense. It is the creative law of the universe in operation. Sound carries frequency, and frequency carries instruction. Imagine your words as commands that tell your mind how to think, your energy how to vibrate, and the world how to respond. When you speak with fear, you command fear-based outcomes. When you speak with faith, confidence, and clarity, you command the conditions of prosperity. There is a reason confident people rise higher. There is a reason leaders influence the world. There is a reason successful individuals often attribute their achievements to affirmations, mantra-like repetition, or decisive declarations. They understand that words are tools of creation. They use the power of speech to build an inner reality so strong that the outer world must eventually mirror it. The transformation begins when you realize that your financial destiny is not shaped only by what you earn. It is shaped by what you speak. You can speak yourself into limitation or speak yourself into wealth. Many people unknowingly place curses on their finances without realizing it. They say things like, "I'll never be rich," or "Money doesn't come easily for people like me." These are not opinions, they are instructions. They shape the boundaries of your financial life and define the ceiling of what you allow yourself to experience. But the moment you change your words, you begin rewriting your future. You can speak differently today and shift the direction of your entire life. You can declare prosperity even if your bank account is empty. You can declare success even if you're facing failure. Words are not bound by circumstances. They reshape circumstances. Think of every wealthy or successful person you've observed. Notice their language. They speak in terms of opportunity, possibility, confidence, and forward movement. They do not allow their speech to reflect defeat or helplessness. They speak from a place of command, and because of that, life obeys. When you begin speaking in this same aligned, intentional manner, you step into the same creative flow. Your words must match the future you desire, not the circumstances you currently see. If you speak based on what you see right now, you will remain where you are. If you speak based on what you desire, you will rise into a new reality. This is how the power of speech works. You do not speak according to the present, you speak according to the future, and the future reshapes the present. Each time you declare anything with emotion, with belief, with repetition, you are programming your subconscious mind. The subconscious does not argue, does not judge, does not analyze, it obeys. And once it accepts a statement as truth, it works day and night to make that truth unfold in your external world. Spoken words are the gateway to the subconscious. When you speak abundance long enough, your subconscious reorganizes your beliefs, dissolves doubts, attracts new opportunities, and pushes you toward decisions that align with wealth. So many people underestimate their own power because they underestimate their words. They speak casually, they complain casually, they describe their struggles casually, not realizing those words are shaping their future financial state. But the moment you become conscious, truly conscious, of the power behind every sentence you release, you begin speaking on purpose. You stop declaring lack, you stop affirming struggle, you stop predicting failure. Instead, you begin to claim abundance, to affirm prosperity, to speak wealth, to command success, and to give your future a new order to follow. The power of spoken words is the foundation of financial transformation. When you speak abundance consistently, you rewrite the script of your destiny. You alter the patterns that held you back. You activate the universal law that brings opportunities, connections, ideas, and unexpected blessings into your life. Your words are the beginning of every breakthrough you will ever experience. And when you finally grasp this truth, not just intellectually, but deeply, fully, you step into the extraordinary ability to shape your financial destiny with the power of your voice. Money responds to the vibration of your thoughts and speech, aligning itself with the frequency you consistently broadcast, whether you know it or not. Everything in this universe is energy, and money is no exception. It moves, flows, circulates, expands, contracts, and shifts, according to the energetic signals you send out through your beliefs, emotions, and especially your spoken words. People often imagine money as something outside themselves, something disconnected, something they must chase or force their way toward. But the deeper truth is that money is responsive. It listens, it reacts, it mirrors, it gravitates naturally toward the vibration that matches its own frequency. Abundance, clarity, certainty, expansion, and forward movement. Your vibration is built moment by moment, shaped by the stories you repeat, the feelings you dwell in, the fears you entertain, the levels of faith you hold, and most powerfully, the words you speak. Every sentence releases a signal, every thought carries a tone, every emotion broadcasts a wavelength. Together, they form the energetic pattern that either attracts money effortlessly or pushes it away without you ever realizing why. There are people who work tirelessly yet remain financially stuck, not because they lack potential or intelligence, but because their vibration contradicts their desire. They say they want wealth, but they constantly speak out of fear, frustration, limitation, or disbelief. They may act like they want more, but their vibration says, "I don't believe it can happen." And money responds accordingly. Money cannot enter where it is not energetically welcomed. It cannot stay where it is constantly spoken against. It cannot flourish where doubt is louder than desire. On the other hand, there are people who appear to attract opportunities, ideas, and resources almost magically. Their vibration aligns with abundance. They expect success, they speak with assurance, they live in a state of energetic openness, open to receiving, open to increase, open to unusual opportunities, open to miracles. They don't chase money, money finds them. Not because they are lucky, but because their internal frequency matches the vibration of wealth. Your vibration is shaped by what you repeatedly affirm with your words. When you say, "Money comes to me easily," you are tuning your frequency to ease, flow, and confidence. When you say, "I am open to abundance," you shift your inner state toward receptivity. When you say, "I attract profitable opportunities," your mind begins noticing possibilities that were invisible to you before. When you speak positively, passionately, and consistently about your financial future, you send out a strong, clear vibration that money recognizes and responds to. But when you say things like, "I'm always struggling," "money slips away from me," or "nothing ever works out," you lower your vibration. Your words broadcast scarcity, fear, and resistance. Even if you work hard physically, your energetic message pushes money away because your spoken vibration signals lack instead of abundance. The universe does not respond to your wishes, it responds to your frequency, and your frequency is shaped by your thoughts, strengthened by your emotions, and amplified by your speech. Money, in its energetic essence, is drawn to clarity. It flows toward people who speak confidently and intentionally, not those who speak doubtfully or fearfully. The universe cannot deliver a frequency that you yourself do not broadcast. If you want financial expansion, your vibration must rise to meet it. If you desire abundance, your speech must reflect that abundance long before your circumstances do. This is why gratitude plays such a powerful role. When you speak gratitude for money that has not yet arrived, your vibration shifts instantly. You move from wanting to receiving, from doubt to faith, from fear to anticipation. Gratitude is one of the purest frequencies of abundance. It tells the universe, I am ready, I am willing, I am aligned. And the universe responds because gratitude and abundance share the same energetic language. Fear and scarcity operate on a lower frequency, one that money cannot align with. When you worry, stress, complain, or speak negatively about your finances, your vibration contracts. You become energetically closed. You cannot see opportunities. You cannot feel inspired. You cannot receive new ideas. You cannot notice the doors that are opening for you. Your vibration becomes narrow and restricted, and money cannot enter a restricted vibration. But when you shift your speech, you shift your entire energetic field. When you declare abundance, even if your circumstances seem opposite, you create a vibration of expansion. You open your energetic space. You increase your capacity to receive. You begin to align with new paths, new solutions, new income channels, new partnerships, and new creative insights. Your vibration creates the foundation upon which financial transformation is built. Your thoughts create the blueprint. Your emotions energize the blueprint, but your words activate the blueprint. Speech is the final and most powerful ingredient that locks your vibration into alignment. When you speak wealth with conviction, you anchor your frequency into a state where abundance can flow freely. Consistency is the key. You cannot speak prosperity once and expect miracles. You must maintain the vibration. You cannot declare abundance while living emotionally in fear. You must sustain the frequency of what you desire through daily words, daily thoughts, and daily emotional alignment. Your vibration is like a radio signal. If you tune to scarcity, you receive scarcity. If you tune to abundance, abundance becomes inevitable. Money flows where it is welcomed. Money grows where it is appreciated. Money responds where it is respected. Money listens to the tone of your vibration, and your vibration is an orchestra conducted by your speech. When your words and emotions harmonize with abundance, you become a natural magnet for prosperity. If you want to change your financial destiny, begin by changing the vibration of your words. Speak abundance until you feel abundance. Speak prosperity until you radiate prosperity. Speak wealth until your entire being vibrates at the frequency of receiving. Because money is not separate from you. It is an energetic companion waiting for your vibration to rise to the level where it can meet you. And the moment your words become aligned with that vibration, everything begins to shift. Opportunities reveal themselves, resources appear, ideas flow, people enter your life, doors open. The path becomes visible, and money, as it always does to those who vibrate with certainty, begins moving toward you with ease, speed, and generosity. You cannot attract what you constantly speak against, because every negative word you speak becomes a barrier between you and the very thing you desire. Most people never understand why their dreams seem to move farther away the harder they try. They hustle, they work, they struggle, they push, yet the results remain small, inconsistent, or completely blocked. They think life is unfair, or luck is against them, or that they are simply not meant for abundance. But the truth is far simpler and far deeper. They repel what they desire by speaking against it every day without even realizing it. The tongue that longs for abundance often utters phrases soaked in fear, frustration, and disbelief. And the universe, always obedient to energetic law, mirrors back the vibration that the person continually sends through their speech. Every time someone says, "I never have enough money," they are closing the door on prosperity a little tighter. When they say, "People like me don't get lucky," they are rejecting opportunities before they appear. When they say, "Nothing ever works out for me," they are programming their subconscious mind to overlook solutions and expect disappointment. And when they complain about their finances day after day, they strengthen the very conditions they want to escape. You cannot attract what you curse. You cannot receive what you reject. You cannot welcome a blessing while speaking as if it is impossible. Words create a spiritual contradiction that blocks the flow of good. People say they want success, but they speak like victims. They want wealth, but they speak from scarcity. They want opportunity, but they speak limitation. They want progress, but their speech anchors them to the past. Their words betray their desires. On one side is their longing, on the other side is their language, and because the universe always responds to your vibration, not your wishes, your speech wins every time. Imagine someone planting a garden. They carefully place seeds of abundance, affirmations, goals, dreams, but every day they pour poison on the soil by speaking against those very seeds. How can anything grow? How can any dream survive? The contradictions in speech destroy the roots before the plant ever rises. This is how many people live, planting with hope, destroying with words. When you say, "I want money," but then immediately say, "But I don't know how it will ever happen," you are canceling your own request. When you say, "I believe in abundance," but then insist that life is just too hard, you are choosing struggle over prosperity. When you tell people, "I'm trying, but nothing works," you are affirming failure instead of possibility. The universe does not give you what you want. It gives you what you continually affirm. The power of your speech is not neutral. It pulls or pushes. It builds or destroys. It opens or closes. Every negative statement places another brick in the wall between you and your financial destiny. And every positive declaration removes a brick, allowing light to enter and opportunities to flow. Many people unknowingly build entire fortresses of limitation with their words. They lock themselves inside the walls of "I can't," "I don't know," "I never have enough," and "it's not possible." Then wonder why abundance cannot find its way to them. Your words are the gatekeepers of your experience. They decide what can enter and what must stay out. The universe responds as a faithful servant to the instructions you send through your speech. If you speak scarcity, you attract scarcity. If you speak fear, you attract experiences that match fear. But if you speak abundance, even before you see evidence, your vibration shifts, and the world begins rearranging itself to match your bold declarations. This is why you must never speak against the things you desire, even when your circumstances tempt you to complain. Complaining is worshiping the problem. It gives energy to the very thing you want to eliminate. Every time you complain about money, you reinforce a relationship of lack between you and finances. You push money farther away because your words declare that you do not trust the flow of abundance. People complain out of habit, not realizing that each complaint shapes their future reality. Negative speech is not harmless. It is a silent architect of limitation. You might not see the effect immediately, but over time, the compound impact of small negative statements creates large negative experiences. One fearful sentence may seem insignificant, but thousands of repeated negative sentences shape a life filled with struggle. And the saddest part is that many don't even realize they are doing it. But the moment you become aware, truly aware, everything begins to change. Awareness is the first step to transformation. When you catch yourself speaking against your own good, you can stop. When you catch yourself reinforcing limitation with your words, you can shift. You can redirect the energy of your speech toward what you desire, not what you fear. This is the beginning of alignment, when your words finally support your dreams instead of opposing them. Your speech must be loyal to your vision, not to your circumstances. Anyone can speak positively when everything is going well. That requires no skill, no consciousness, no courage. But to speak abundance in the midst of lack, to speak progress in the midst of stagnation, to speak wealth in the midst of struggle, that is where true spiritual power is formed. That is where vibration rises. That is where alignment begins, and that is where miracles happen. If you want money, speak words that welcome it. If you want opportunity, speak words that attract it. If you want financial breakthroughs, speak as though breakthroughs are already on the way. If you want stability, speak stability into existence. You cannot declare abundance while rehearsing fears of not having enough. Your words must remain faithful to the reality you are creating, not the temporary conditions you are passing through. When your speech aligns with your desire, you remove the resistance that once blocked your blessings. You create a clear, energetic path for money to reach you. You allow opportunities to flow without sabotage. You train your subconscious mind to seek solutions rather than obstacles. And most importantly, you step into a partnership with the universe where your words and your desires finally agree. You cannot attract what you constantly speak against. But the moment you choose to speak in harmony with abundance, you become a magnet for everything you have ever sought. Your words turn from obstacles into bridges. Your vibration rises. Your reality shifts. And the abundance that once felt far away begins moving toward you with undeniable clarity and power. Your words are spiritual commands, and whatever you speak with conviction begins forming in the unseen long before it becomes visible in your material world. Most people wander through life thinking their speech is casual, something they use to fill silence, express emotion, or react to the moment. They don't understand that every word they speak travels far beyond the air in front of their lips. Every word becomes a decree, a signal, a spiritual instruction that sets unseen forces into motion. Your speech is not empty sound, it is creation, it is law. It is the blueprint through which your future takes shape. You are not just speaking, you are building, shaping, summoning, commanding, directing, and declaring what will be allowed to manifest in your experience. There is a realm beyond the physical, a dimension of energy and possibility where everything you desire already exists in potential form. When you speak with clarity, certainty, and intention, you activate this realm and pull that potential closer to physical manifestation. Your words go before you, they prepare the path, they align circumstances. They influence events, they rearrange pathways, they open channels that you could not see before. What you speak begins forming in silence long before you ever touch it with your hands. Most people underestimate this spiritual technology. They believe thoughts matter, but they do not understand that spoken words carry even greater power. Thoughts are internal signals, but words extend that signal into the world with amplified vibration. Thoughts whisper, words declare, thoughts plant seeds, words activate the soil, thoughts build belief, words build reality. When spoken with emotion and conviction, words penetrate the subconscious mind, influence the energetic field, and create a vibration strong enough to draw new conditions into your life. When you say, "I am abundant," you are not merely describing a state. You are commanding unseen forces to align with abundance. When you say, "Money is attracted to me," you are not making a hopeful wish. You are sending a spiritual instruction to gather financial opportunities, connections, and resources in your direction. When you say, "Everything is working in my favor," the universe begins to reorganize itself to match that instruction. Your words are not requests, they are orders, and the unseen world responds with absolute obedience. This is why speech must be treated with reverence. Careless words become careless outcomes. Casual negativity becomes patterned limitation. When someone says, "I'm always broke," they are not describing their reality. They are commanding it to continue. When they say, "I'll never make enough," they are giving a spiritual order that blocks the flow of increase. When they say, "Everything goes wrong for me," they create an energetic cycle where circumstances seem to follow their verbal prophecy. The universe does not judge your words. It simply responds to them. It does not filter out the sarcasm. It does not ignore the exaggerations. It does not dismiss the negativity as just talk. It takes every word as a directive. Words spoken repeatedly become spiritual laws in your life. They solidify into patterns. They carve paths. They tell the world what to deliver. If you speak limitation consistently, you will live within those limitations. If you speak abundance consistently, abundance must come, because words carry the authority to shape reality. There is a reason sacred texts, ancient teachers, and mystics across time all emphasize the power of the spoken word. They understood that speech is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the tool through which thought becomes form. Nothing enters your life without first passing through the gate of your speech, whether consciously or unconsciously. When you speak, you activate spiritual law and instruct your reality to obey your command. Your words also instruct your subconscious mind, the silent engine of your life. The subconscious does not reason, it accepts. It does not interpret, it absorbs. It does not differentiate between what you want and what you fear. It simply follows the dominant message. When you speak something repeatedly, your subconscious begins to treat it as truth. It reorganizes your beliefs, reshapes your behavior, filters your perception, and attracts experiences that match what it has accepted. Your speech writes the script that your subconscious then directs your life to follow. This is why affirmations, when spoken with true feeling, change lives. They override old programming. They replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. They elevate your vibration, shift your frequency, and align you with new outcomes. Words spoken with faith bypass the resistance of the logical mind and penetrate directly into the creative core of the subconscious. They plant the blueprint of your future so deeply that reality eventually has no choice but to match it. You are never speaking into emptiness. You are speaking into the fabric of the universe itself. Every word has a ripple effect, influencing circumstances you cannot yet see. When you declare, "I am receiving unexpected blessings," somewhere in the unseen, doors begin to unlock. When you say, "I am attracting wealth with ease," new channels begin opening. You may not see the shifts immediately, but the moment you speak, the process begins. This is why you must learn to speak deliberately, consciously, intentionally. Speak only what you want to experience. Speak only what aligns with your highest good. Speak only what reflects your vision. Speak not according to your fears, but according to your destiny. Because every time you open your mouth, you are writing the next chapter of your life. Your words are not reflections of your reality. They are the architects of it. Speak lack, and lack is built. Speak abundance, and abundance is built. Speak defeat, and the world bends toward defeat. Speak victory, and the world reshapes itself to deliver victory. You are the commander. Your words are the decree, and the unseen world becomes the builder of whatever you instruct it to create. When you finally understand that your words are spiritual commands, you will speak with greater awareness, greater power, and greater intention. You will no longer react with fear-based speech. You will no longer use words carelessly. You will no longer speak against yourself, your dreams, or your success. Instead, you will speak with wisdom, with confidence, with inner authority. And everything you speak with conviction will begin forming in the unseen, preparing to manifest in perfect time and perfect order. Prosperity begins with inner alignment long before it ever appears as money in your hand, opportunities in your life, or abundance in your environment. So many people chase wealth externally. They chase jobs, chase clients, chase results, chase approval, chase luck, never realizing that true prosperity does not start with action. It starts with alignment. It begins in the invisible places within your mind, your emotions, your beliefs, and your energetic field. Prosperity is not something you run after. It is something you tune yourself into. And the moment you align yourself internally with abundance, life begins shifting around you to reflect that alignment. Most people live with an inner world that contradicts their outer desire. They say they want wealth, but inside they feel unworthy. They say they want opportunity, but inside they expect disappointment. They say they want success, but inside they hold beliefs that sabotage their progress. The internal dialogue says, money is difficult, I'm not capable, people don't support me, life is hard. Success is for others, not for me. This internal misalignment becomes a barrier to abundance, not because they lack talent or potential, but because their inner signal is out of tune with the frequency of prosperity. To attract abundance, your inner state must match the vibration of the abundance you seek. This means your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, expectations, and words must harmonize with the life you want, not the life you fear. Wealth cannot enter a mind filled with worry. Opportunity cannot grow inside a heart filled with doubt. Prosperity cannot stay where unworthiness lives. You must become internally aligned with abundance before abundance can externally align with you. Imagine a radio station. If you want to listen to beautiful music, you must tune to the correct frequency. If you're even slightly off, the sound becomes static. In the same way, abundance is always broadcasting a powerful frequency, but if your internal vibration is mismatched, filled with fear, scarcity, resentment, doubt, or self-sabotage, you cannot receive its signal. The static of negative belief blocks the music of prosperity. Inner alignment requires clearing away everything that contradicts your desire. It requires dissolving old fears, forgiving past failures, releasing the belief that money is difficult, and letting go of the idea that success is rare or unstable. It requires nurturing feelings of worthiness, confidence, gratitude, and expectation. It requires creating an inner atmosphere where abundance feels natural, welcome, and safe to enter. Prosperity flows where it feels invited. Prosperity also begins with emotional alignment. You cannot manifest abundance while emotionally living in fear. Fear repels, faith attracts. When you feel abundant inside, when you feel supported, guided, secure, and open, your energy becomes fertile ground for financial blessings to take root. Emotional alignment means you treat abundance not as a distant wish, but as a present truth. You feel wealthy before you become wealthy. You feel empowered before you see results. You feel deserving before money shows up. Emotion is the magnet that draws physical reality toward you. Your beliefs must also align with abundance. Many people hold hidden beliefs that contradict their desires, beliefs inherited from childhood, culture, religion, scarcity environments, or past failures. They believe money is hard to keep, or success requires suffering, or wealth makes people greedy, or they are not smart enough, lucky enough, or talented enough. These beliefs form invisible walls that block prosperity. To align with abundance, you must replace these beliefs with empowering ones. You must believe that wealth is natural, growth is possible, opportunity is everywhere, and you are fully worthy of receiving all that life has to offer. Inner alignment also means expecting good things to happen. Expectation is the emotional anticipation that prepares your life to receive blessings. When you expect miracles, you notice possibilities that others overlook. When you expect opportunities, you take inspired actions that align with them. When you expect success, you radiate a confidence that attracts support, clients, ideas, and opportunities. Expectation is the energetic announcement that you are ready. Inner alignment means your desire and your belief must match. If you desire abundance but believe it's impossible, your vibration is split. If you desire success but expect failure, you create energetic contradiction. If you desire increase but speak lack, you block manifestation. Inner alignment requires unity, a harmonious agreement between your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and speech. Prosperity begins when your inner world becomes a place where wealth feels at home. This means living as though abundance is already on its way. It means carrying yourself with dignity, confidence, and faith. It means making decisions from the vibration of abundance rather than the vibration of fear. Instead of asking, "What if it doesn't work?" you ask, "What if it turns out better than I imagined?" Instead of shrinking yourself, you expand. Instead of anticipating loss, you anticipate gain. Inner alignment also means trusting the process of manifestation. Trust dissolves resistance. Trust creates space. Trust opens channels. When you live in trust, you no longer try to force outcomes. You allow them. You no longer worry about timing. You trust perfect timing. You no longer feel desperate. You feel certain. And certainty is one of the highest vibrations of abundance. Certainty tells the universe, "I am aligned. I am ready. I am prepared to receive." When you align internally, external prosperity becomes inevitable. Opportunities begin appearing in unexpected places. People who can support your growth cross your path. Ideas come to you effortlessly. Solutions emerge. New income channels reveal themselves. You feel guided, supported, uplifted, carried by something greater than circumstance. Life begins to flow instead of struggle. Inner alignment turns you into a magnet and abundance into a natural response. Prosperity cannot resist someone who is aligned with it. The universe is not withholding anything from you. It is simply responding to your vibration. When your vibration shifts, your reality shifts. When your inner world harmonizes with abundance, your external world begins to reflect that harmony. Everything you desire is waiting for you to align with it. Prosperity begins inside, and once it begins there, it must eventually appear everywhere. The words you speak are not mere sounds released into the air. They are commands, decrees, and spiritual signatures that imprint themselves upon the unseen forces of your life. Every word is a seed, and every seed produces after its own kind. When you understand this truth deeply, you begin to speak with intention, with awareness, and with reverence for the power that moves through your voice. Money is not separate from this law. The flow of money in your life responds directly to the vibration of your words, whether spoken consciously or unconsciously. Just like a magnet grows stronger with aligned poles, your spoken word becomes magnetic when aligned with belief, emotion, and certainty. It is not the loudness of your voice that moves mountains, but the conviction behind it. When you speak from fear, you command lack. When you speak from faith, you command supply. There are people who work day and night, running from one task to another, yet money still avoids them. And then there are individuals who barely lift a finger, yet opportunities rush to them like water running downhill. This difference begins not with effort, but with language. The unconscious phrases most people use every day, without a second thought, become invisible chains that bind their finances. When someone says, "I can't afford that," they are closing a door. When they say, "Money is hard to get," they are sealing their fate. When they say, "I'm always struggling," they are writing the next chapter of their story before tomorrow even arrives. You cannot speak defeat and expect victory. You cannot speak poverty and expect prosperity. You cannot claim limitation and expect abundance. Your words are the blueprint the universe follows. Money is energy, and energy responds to direction. The command center of that direction is your spoken word. When you declare, "Money flows to me freely and continuously," you are sending out a vibrational call. When you say, "I am aligned with divine supply," you are opening a spiritual channel that is already yours by birthright. When you say, "Every dollar I spend comes back multiplied," you are instructing your finances to circulate in your favor. The universe hears the tone of your voice more clearly than the tone of your complaining. It hears every whisper of faith and every sigh of defeat, and it responds accordingly. Your word is the wand that shapes the invisible into the visible. The world you experience externally first existed internally as a spoken decree. You are not a beggar at the door of life. You are a commander of unseen forces. And the moment you begin to speak from authority rather than fear, everything begins to rearrange itself for your good. Money has no choice but to listen when spoken to correctly. It follows the voice of certainty. It gravitates toward the energy of confidence. It avoids the vibration of desperation or unworthiness. Speak as one who already possesses. Speak as one who already knows. Speak as one whose feet rest firmly on the foundation of divine provision. But there is a secret here. Your words must not contradict your emotions. Empty affirmations do nothing. Hollow declarations dissolve in the air. The power of your speech arises when your internal state harmonizes with the words you release. If you speak abundance but feel lack, the feeling will override the phrase. If you speak prosperity but secretly fear the future, the fear will drown out your words. But when you speak from a place of quiet knowing, from the stillness that says, "It is done," your words become unstoppable. You can only command what you believe belongs to you. The universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to the belief beneath the words. When you speak money into reality, you must do so as if speaking to an obedient servant, not an unpredictable stranger. You speak with clarity, "You are welcome here." You speak with authority, "You return multiplied." You speak with gratitude, "I am ready to receive." And you must speak daily, because every day you are either planting seeds of abundance or seeds of lack. Whatever you repeat becomes your reality. The world bends around the phrases you use most often. Observe the language of wealthy individuals. Even in difficulty, they do not speak of loss, but of strategy. Even in uncertainty, they do not speak of fear, but of opportunity. Their words are shaped from expectation, not desperation, and so wealth continues to align with them. Words are not decorations, they are declarations. They are not casual, they are creative. They build or they break. They summon or they scatter. Every phrase you speak about money either calls it forward or sends it away. Consider for a moment how many negative money phrases are spoken without awareness. Someone says, "I'm broke," and smiles as if it is a joke. Yet the universe does not laugh. Someone says, "Money slips through my hands," and then wonders why it disappears. Someone says, "I don't know how I'll survive this month." And the universe shows them exactly that survival, but not abundance. You must become a guardian of your words. You must watch them as carefully as you would watch a precious treasure, because that is what they are, treasures that build tomorrow. So begin today to speak with intention. Let your words be lighthouses, not warnings. Speak health to your finances, not sickness. Speak certainty, not doubt. Speak as the architect of your life, not as a victim of circumstance. The universe is always listening, always responding, always rearranging itself around the vibration you emit. Speak money with reverence. Speak it with joy. Speak it as one who knows that abundance is not something to chase, but something to claim. Let your voice become a declaration of prosperity, and soon the world around you will rearrange itself to match your command. Your words are the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Use them wisely. Use them boldly. Use them generously, and let every syllable carry the echo of faith, not the fear of what is missing, but the certainty of what is already yours. Money responds to the voice of power. It follows the call of belief. It moves toward the one who speaks not from want, but from knowing. Speak as the creator you are, and watch the invisible bow to your command. There is a divine law at work in your life, a law older than time itself, a law that never sleeps and never fails. Every person is connected to this law, whether they acknowledge it or not. It is the law that governs attraction, circulation, expansion, and increase. And this law includes money, for money is simply an instrument through which this divine current expresses itself. When you understand that money does not appear randomly or accidentally, but in accordance with law, you begin to see that nothing about your financial life is a coincidence. Every gain is lawful, every loss is lawful, and every shift in your financial experience reflects the inner pattern you have been carrying within. You are not a victim of chance. You are a participant in divine order. Some people believe luck rules their finances, that some unseen force favors a few and denies others. But that is an illusion. Luck is simply the name given by those who do not understand the deeper mechanics of spiritual law. The truth is simple. Money does not come by accident. It comes by alignment. Just as a radio must be tuned to the precise frequency to receive the signal, your inner state must be tuned to the vibration of abundance to receive the flow of supply. When you are tuned wrongly, when your thoughts vibrate with fear, when your words echo doubt, when your emotions stir with unworthiness, you disconnect yourself from the divine current. And in that disconnection, money seems distant. But when you tune yourself correctly, when your thoughts harmonize with expectation, your words align with faith, your emotions rise in gratitude, you become an instrument through which abundance flows. This is the great truth. Your life is always mirroring your inner world. If you want to know what you believe about money, look at your finances. They reveal the hidden story you have been telling yourself for years. If that story is one of lack, the law reflects it. If that story is one of fear, the law mirrors it. If that story is one of struggle, the law obeys it. But the moment you rewrite the story, the moment you speak a new truth, the moment you reshape your inner pattern, the law shifts, the mirror changes, and the world begins to respond differently. You must never forget that the universe is not moved by begging, complaining, or hoping. It is moved by belief, clear, unwavering, focused belief. When you understand this, you stop asking, "Will money come?" And instead you declare, "Money must come because I am aligned with the law that governs it." You step into a deeper authority, not the authority of the ego, but the authority of spiritual understanding. You realize that abundance is not personal privilege, it is divine inheritance. It belongs to all who align with its frequency. Money is simply one expression of that abundance. But here lies the greater secret. Money responds most strongly to the person who lives from a consciousness of faith rather than force. There are those who chase, strive, and push for money, believing they must squeeze it out of life. They exhaust themselves, but the money they gain slips away as quickly as it comes. Why? Because they have broken alignment. They act from fear, not faith. They cling from scarcity, not security. They work with their hands but contradict themselves with their hearts. The divine law is not moved by effort alone. It is moved by inner certainty. When you live in alignment, you no longer chase money. Money recognizes you. You become a vessel of supply. You carry an inner magnetism that draws opportunities, ideas, partnerships, and blessings toward you. Doors open without force. People feel compelled to help you. Circumstances unfold as if designed strategically for your benefit. You begin to live in the flow, in the rhythm of divine order. And in that rhythm, money circulates naturally. Alignment begins with truth. You must uproot the old beliefs that have kept you in financial struggle, beliefs inherited from family, from society, from past failures. Beliefs such as riches are rare, money is hard to get, I'm not lucky, I don't deserve abundance, or people like me don't succeed. These statements are not facts. They are spells you have unknowingly cast over your own life, and every spell can be broken with a new declaration. The moment you say, "I am aligned with divine supply," a shift occurs. The moment you say, "Money comes to me in perfect ways," the universe takes notice. The moment you say, "All that is mine by divine right flows to me now," you break the chains of old programming. But alignment is not only spoken, it is lived. It is lived through gratitude. Gratitude for what you have and gratitude for what is coming. Gratitude is the language of abundance. It is the emotional evidence that you trust the law. When you give thanks before the manifestation appears, you align with the reality in which it already exists. You collapse the distance between desire and fulfillment. Alignment is lived through peace, peace of mind, peace of heart, peace in knowing that nothing can be withheld from you when you are in harmony with divine law. When you are peaceful, you release the resistance that blocks supply. You stop grasping and start receiving, and in that receiving state, money flows easily. Alignment is lived through generosity, not forced giving, but joyful circulation. When you circulate money with the energy of trust, you activate the law of return. You open channels, you clear stagnation. You show the universe that you understand money is energy, and energy must move to expand. And alignment is lived through expectation, the unwavering knowing that abundance is not a matter of if, but when, and that when depends on your readiness, not on outer circumstances. Expectation is the magnetic core of manifestation. When you expect supply, supply arrives. Remember this. Divine law cannot fail, but human belief wavers. Your task is to steady your belief, to speak the truth even when appearances contradict it, to hold the vibration even when the world gives you no evidence yet. Faith is not believing after you see. It is believing until you see. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. So stand firm in this. Money is not random. Money is not mysterious. Money is not unpredictable. Money follows law, and law follows belief. Your work is not to chase abundance, but to align with it, to speak in harmony with truth, to think in harmony with truth, to feel in harmony with truth. And when harmony is achieved, abundance becomes inevitable. You are part of a divine order that guarantees supply. Stand in that order, speak from that order, leave from that order, and money will flow as naturally as breath. There comes a moment in every person's life when they sense a shift, a quiet inner awakening that whispers, "You were made for more than this." This moment is sacred because it marks the beginning of a new consciousness. And in the realm of abundance, this shift is everything. Money does not change first, you change first. Your external circumstances are merely a reflection, a shadow cast by the beliefs you hold within. When you elevate the inner landscape, the outer world must follow. This is the principle that has guided countless lives from scarcity into prosperity. The transformation of the inner pattern always precedes the transformation of the outer condition. Many people wait for money to arrive before they feel worthy, confident, or secure, but this is the great reversal that keeps them stuck. They wait for the evidence before cultivating the belief, but the universe does not work this way. Belief precedes evidence, faith precedes form, consciousness precedes creation. Imagine a seed demanding proof of sunlight before it decides to grow. It would never sprout. The seed grows because it trusts the environment it cannot yet see. This is how abundance works. When you expand your consciousness, even slightly, the world begins to rearrange itself to match your new frequency. The shift begins internally, often in subtle ways. Perhaps you start to question an old belief. Maybe money isn't supposed to be difficult. Or you catch yourself before speaking a phrase of lack. Or you begin to treat yourself with more dignity, recognizing your value not as something to earn, but something inherent. These small internal adjustments are not small at all. They are spiritual earthquakes. They shake the foundations of the old pattern and make room for the new. Nothing changes until you change. But once you change, nothing can stay the same. This shift often starts with awareness. Awareness of the invisible thoughts running your financial life. Awareness of the quiet doubts that sabotage your progress. Awareness of the inherited beliefs passed from parents, culture, or past experiences. When you begin to observe these thoughts, you no longer live under their spell. You become the master, not the servant, and in mastering your internal world, you unlock the door to a new financial reality. One of the most profound transformations comes from recognizing your relationship with deservingness. Many unintentionally believe they do not truly deserve abundance. They may speak abundance but feel unworthy of it. They may desire prosperity but feel guilty for wanting more. They may dream big yet shrink themselves so as not to disturb the comfort of others. But abundance responds to worthiness. It flows to those who stand tall in their inheritance. It embraces those who understand that financial supply is not a prize to earn through suffering. It is a natural expression of divine order. To expand your consciousness, you must first affirm your worth, not in a timid whisper, but in a declaration that vibrates through your entire being. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of financial ease. I am worthy of every good thing that life has reserved for me. When this belief solidifies within, you stop pushing money away with subconscious resistance. You stop sabotaging your own progress. You allow yourself to receive. The shift inside you also involves dissolving the old emotional patterns that cling to scarcity. Fear, anxiety, doubt, these are the emotional weights that drag you downward. When you elevate your emotional vibration through gratitude, faith, joy, and expectation, you rise above the old frequency that once kept you stuck. Gratitude is one of the strongest tools for shifting consciousness. It lifts you above limitation and into alignment with abundance. Gratitude says, I trust the process even before the manifestation. And the universe responds to trust as a command. Emotion is the fuel of manifestation. Belief gives direction, but emotion gives power. When you hold the emotion of abundance, without needing visible proof, you connect yourself to the very frequency that money responds to. You become a match for what you desire. You no longer wait for the external shift. You are the shift, and energy always aligns with its source. This inner shift also involves refining your imagination. The mind is a workshop where every experience is crafted first in thought. If you imagine lack, you create lack. If you imagine scarcity, you reinforce it. But if you imagine abundance, vividly, consistently, with feeling, you sculpt a new internal blueprint. The universe follows the blueprint you hold, not the circumstances you fear. When you imagine wealth with conviction, you instruct the unseen forces to begin organizing your life in that direction. The imagination is not fantasy, it is divine architecture. Action becomes more powerful after the internal shift. Many people act prematurely, taking frantic steps born from fear rather than alignment. But when you shift inside first, your actions become guided, intuitive, inspired. You take fewer steps, but each step carries more impact. You begin to notice opportunities that match your new consciousness. You say yes to things you previously overlooked, because now you see yourself as someone worthy of receiving them. You say no to things that drain your energy, because now you honor your value. This is how the universe expands your financial life through alignment, clarity, and inspired movement. When the internal shift reaches a certain point, you begin to experience something extraordinary. Outer conditions start changing with surprising speed. Money appears from unexpected channels. Opportunities find their way to you. Solutions emerge where before there were only problems. People who doubted you suddenly become supporters. Doors open without force. This is not coincidence. It is law. When consciousness rises, circumstances elevate accordingly. And yet, the greatest transformation happens inside you. You begin to feel empowered, not desperate, calm, not anxious, certain, not doubtful. You begin to understand that you are not at the mercy of the world. You are a creator within it. You walk differently. You speak differently. You hold your head higher because you know your supply does not come from the economy, your job, other people, or chance. It comes through them, but not from them. The source is higher than all of these, and once you align with that source within, the world cannot help but rise to meet you. This is the essence of the shift. Your internal elevation becomes the magnet for external transformation. And when you master this truth, you no longer chase abundance. You attract it. You no longer plead for supply. You command it. You no longer fear the future. You create it. The shift is the key. The shift is the beginning. The shift is the moment your financial life transforms, not because money changed, but because you did. There is a sacred force woven into the fabric of the universe, and that force responds instantly to one emotion more than any other: gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a polite expression or a shallow thank you whispered into the air. It is a magnetic vibration that reshapes reality itself. It is the energetic bridge between where you stand and where you desire to be. When gratitude fills your heart, your entire being shifts into a state of alignment with abundance. You begin to attract, receive, and hold money differently because gratitude transforms your internal atmosphere. It raises your vibration faster than any strategy, technique, or plan ever could. Most people believe gratitude is something you express after blessings arrive, but that is a limited understanding. True gratitude is not reactive, it is creative. You do not wait for money to appear before you give thanks. You give thanks first, and money appears as a result. Gratitude prepares the soil before the seed sprouts. Gratitude summons the harvest before the crops are visible. Gratitude calls forth the blessing before the evidence arrives. When you understand gratitude as a creative force rather than a reaction, you unlock one of the highest spiritual laws of abundance. There is a powerful shift that happens inside you when you express gratitude genuinely. Your mind loosens its grip on fear. Your heart opens to possibility. Your energy expands into receptiveness. Gratitude calms the chaos of worry and aligns your consciousness with the steady rhythm of effortless supply. When you are grateful, you cannot be fearful. When you are truly grateful, you cannot dwell in lack because gratitude anchors you in what is good, what is working, what is possible, and the universe responds to the emotional signal you send. Gratitude emits the frequency of abundance, and abundance echoes back. Some people think they have nothing to be grateful for until something extraordinary happens. But gratitude is not limited to the extraordinary. The greatest transformation happens when you begin to appreciate the ordinary. Blessings you once overlooked, breath in your lungs, strength in your body, a mind that can dream, opportunities that have not yet materialized but are on their way. Each time you acknowledge these gifts, you strengthen your vibration. You build a foundation of abundance. You tell the universe, I recognize the good already present in my life. I am ready for more. The universe does not reward the person who constantly complains about what is missing. It rewards the one who appreciates what is here. Complaints communicate lack. Gratitude communicates readiness. Complaints block the flow. Gratitude opens the channel. Complaints fix your attention on what you fear. Gratitude fixes your attention on what you trust. And wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. If you focus on scarcity, you expand scarcity. If you focus on abundance, even the smallest form of it, you expand abundance. Gratitude is the lens that helps you see increase where others see limits. But the real magic of gratitude is this: you can give thanks for things that have not yet arrived, and doing so brings them closer. This is one of the most powerful spiritual technologies available to you. When you say, thank you for the money that is coming, you align your emotions with the reality you desire. You collapse the distance between the seen and the unseen. You speak as if what you want is already yours, and that inner certainty becomes the force that draws it into form. Gratitude is a declaration of faith. It says, I trust the unseen. I trust divine timing. I trust that my supply is guaranteed. When you thank the universe in advance, you demonstrate that your belief does not depend on immediate results. You are acknowledging that abundance is not limited by appearances. You are claiming your inheritance, not pleading for it. And the universe responds with precision to this kind of trust. This kind of gratitude is powerful because it carries emotion, and emotion is the fuel behind manifestation. When you feel grateful, deeply, intensely, sincerely, you send out a vibration strong enough to restructure events, shift outcomes, and create openings where none existed before. Gratitude energizes your desires with a living force. It is one thing to think rich. It is another thing to feel rich through gratitude before the wealth arrives. That feeling is the essence of creation. When you make gratitude a daily practice, your finances begin to shift in surprising ways. Money finds new paths to you. Unexpected opportunities arise. You discover clarity where there was confusion. Ideas surface that can generate income. People show up with resources, guidance, or support. Gratitude opens doors because it opens you. It expands your capacity to receive. You cannot receive abundance with a clenched heart. Gratitude softens the heart and expands the container. Some people practice gratitude only during peaceful times. But gratitude is most powerful when expressed in the midst of uncertainty. When you give thanks before the breakthrough, you prove that your faith is not dependent on circumstances. You anchor yourself in the truth that supply is not external. It is internal, spiritual, consistent, and always flowing toward you. When you can say thank you, even in moments of delay or difficulty, you rise into a higher vibration than the situation itself. And the situation must rise to meet you. Gratitude also transforms your relationship with money itself. Many people treat money with fear, anxiety, resentment, or guilt, but money responds best to respect and appreciation. When you treat money as a blessing rather than a burden, you shift the way it behaves in your life. Give thanks when you receive money, no matter how small. Give thanks when you spend money, knowing it will return multiplied. Give thanks when you save money, for it is proof of trust and discipline. Gratitude circulates money with the energy of abundance rather than scarcity. When you express gratitude consistently, something profound happens. You begin to feel abundant now, not one day. And abundance always flows toward the person who already feels it. You become a living magnet for financial increase. The world senses your vibration and mirrors it. Gratitude trains your mind to recognize possibilities instead of problems. It teaches your heart to celebrate potential instead of dwelling in fear. It reshapes your energy field so that you naturally attract situations, people, and opportunities that align with prosperity. Gratitude turns you into a vessel ready to receive divine supply. The truth is simple yet powerful. The more grateful you are, the more you are given to be grateful for. Gratitude is multiplication. Gratitude is expansion. Gratitude is divine acceleration. It does not just change your mood, it changes your reality. So speak your thanks boldly, whisper it when you rise, declare it throughout your day, feel it before you sleep. Let gratitude become the rhythm of your being. Let it open the doors, clear the blocks, raise the vibration, and usher abundance into every corner of your life. Gratitude is not merely the reaction to a blessing. It is the force that creates the blessing. And when you master gratitude, you master the flow of money itself. Faith is not a passive wish or a hopeful thought. Faith is a commanding force, a vibration that speaks louder than any circumstance, and a power that shapes the unseen into the visible. It is the unshakable trust that what you desire is already in motion, even when your